Come on. I like Crawford. I like Crawford then, I like him now. I liked him before Canelo looked not so good in his last fight, obviously.
And now we want to do the face-off for the fight of the century.
One of the biggest boxing fights fans could ever dream of is actually happening.
Everything's happened for a reason, and there's a reason why I'm here. In September, I'm going to show the world what greatness looks like.
And there's a three-punch combination from the champ. Oh, and then Crawford just...
It's going down this September, right in the fight capital of the world, Las Vegas.
Between the two great fighters in our generation.
It'll all be predicated upon how Canelo approaches the fight.
The undisputed super middleweight champ Canelo, an absolute beast taking on Crawford, the undefeated pound-for-pound wizard sitting at 41-0.
I just think Crawford's real special. I think Canelo's really good. But I think Crawford is special. I know he hasn't fought the resume everyone wants, but you have that or you don't have that ingredient.
It's a wow fight, you know what I mean? It's two supreme athletes fighting against each other, but...
Change your tune on wanting this fight over the years. Originally, you didn't want it. Why is now the right time for this fight?
Canelo approaches the fight like he's the man and he can box, and I'll box Terence Crawford, he'll get beat.
Canelo has 62 wins, 2 losses and 2 draws, and 39 of those wins was through KO. The only 2 guys to beat him was Floyd Mayweather way back when Canelo was still green.
And Floyd Mayweather!
And Dimitri Bivol at light heavyweight.
See, when Bivol throws the 1-2s like this.
He's never lost the super middleweight.
To be impressive, he couldn't just win. He had to dominate, and that's what he did.
I'd have to favour Canelo. Just his size and his experience. And just his ring generalship, you know, he's got confidence, he's big.
And this fight's set at a catch weight of 164 pounds, right in the sweet spot.
If he comes out and shows that he really wants to go out and prove whether he's still the best, he might win.
He's walking in as the WBO, WBC, WBA Super, and the Ring Super Middleweight champ. Meanwhile, Crawford's moving up and taking a huge risk with a perfect 41-0, and 31 of those by knockout.
Down goes Spence. How quickly that changes.
This fight is not just another step up for Crawford. It carries legacy-level stakes for both men. For Canelo, getting the win would reinforce what fans and analysts have been saying for years. He's one of the all-time greats. But if he loses to a smaller, older Crawford, that could open the door to critics who say his best days are behind him. For Crawford, this is the moment. A win here makes him a 4-division world champion and puts him right in the conversation as one of the greatest pound-for-pound fighters ever. Even though he's jumping up 2 full weight classes to fight someone who's made a home at 168. Size is a big factor in this one. Canelo has been fighting and dominating at super middleweight since 2018. His power, his chin, his strength, they all fit perfectly at that weight. Crawford's been brilliant at 140 and 147, and only just started testing the waters at 154. Now he's trying to leap straight to 164. Some might say that's crazy. That might not seem like a huge gap, but in boxing, it can matter a lot. Especially when you're fighting a physically bigger guy in a heavier division. There was a lot of chatter online after Crawford posted a photo showing he'd bulked up to 186 pounds during camp, showing he's serious about stepping into this new weight class. But there's a trade-off. Extra muscle can slow you down, and speed has always been one of Crawford's sharpest weapons. We'll have to wait and see if he can keep his agility and still carry that extra size effectively. Canelo, meanwhile, has stayed active and sharp. He's known for his bodywork, his counterpunching, and just how smart he is in the ring. And to stay dialed in, he's even taken a tune-up fight against IBF champ William Skull, just months before facing Crawford. Even though many fans think his fight against Skull was just another rubber stamp boring night, he's doing everything to stay in rhythm and make sure he's firing on all cylinders when the big night arrives. He's beaten top-tier guys like Billy Joe Saunders, Caleb Plant, and John Ryder at this weight, and did it convincingly. He knows how to handle strong, slick, and awkward fighters at 168. But Crawford has never been in the ring with someone who brings Canelo's exact mix of size, power, and technical sharpness. That said, fans are counting him out. They point to how ridiculously smart he is in the ring. He's unpredictable, switches stances effortlessly, and reads opponents better than almost anyone. Legendary trainer Teddy Atlas summed it up perfectly. Crawford's fight IQ is off the charts. If anyone can figure out how to beat Canelo, it's him.
And I think he has it. I see it. The timing, the instinct, the eyes, the ability to be chilly cold, not just cold and calm, but chilly cold.
And he's right. Crawford's biggest strength might just be his brain. If he can disrupt Canelo's rhythm and force him into uncomfortable spots, that changes everything. He might have a chance. Canelo does have one habit that could bite him. He can get a little too predictable. Against someone like Crawford, who thrives on reading patterns and exploiting weaknesses, that could be a problem. If Crawford can stay one step ahead and time his counters, we might see some real chess being played in there. Footwork and distance will be massive for Crawford. He'll need to be on the move, keep the fight at his preferred range, and avoid getting caught with Canelo's body shots and uppercuts. If he can stay sharp and land clean shots while avoiding damage, he can absolutely steal rounds. But it's gotta be a near perfect performance. Canelo's pressure doesn't let up. He cuts off the ring like a pro and keeps you thinking the whole time. And Crawford has never had to deal with power like this from someone this big. Jaron Ennis didn't sugarcoat it when he said this. Crawford's not built for 168. Canelo's too big, too strong, and too seasoned at that weight. Whether you agree or not, there's truth in that. Crawford is jumping into deep waters, and the margin for error is razor thin. Of course, Crawford is no stranger to big moments. He cleaned out the junior welterweight division, beating guys like Ricky Burns, Victor Postol, and Julius Ndongo, and he made it look easy. But going up against Canelo and trying to knock him out like some of those guys is not going to be the best idea. It's probably not even possible. His best shot is to outbox him, keep things technical, stay sharp, and win on points. That's how you beat a bigger guy like Canelo. But that would also be a monumental task, maybe the biggest of his career. And it's going to test every ounce of his strength, conditioning, and ring IQ, and would need him to impose his will early. Otherwise, things could get very interesting later on. Crawford could take a page out of Floyd Mayweather's playbook. Remember when Floyd fought Canelo? He made it look like a masterclass. Even Amir Khan, who was clearly smaller, was giving Canelo problems with his speed and movement, until he got caught. Crawford's smarter than that. He knows how to stay disciplined and not get reckless. When it comes to size, both guys are listed at 5'8", but Crawford actually has a 3.5-inch reach advantage, and that reach is going to be one of his most important advantages in this fight. Using that advantage, if Crawford can keep Canelo on the outside and control the distance, he's got a real shot at pulling off the upset. But Canelo has dealt with longer opponents before and found ways to close the gap. Also, Crawford hasn't fought much lately, just twice since the start of 2023. But that could go either way. Maybe he's coming in fresh and ready, or maybe he's not as sharp as he could be. Meanwhile, Canelo's been grinding. He's racked up 5 wins since that loss to Bivol in 2022. Those wins weren't soft either. He settled the score with Gennady Golovkin, then beat John Ryder, Jermell Charlo, Jaime Munguia, and Edgar Berlanga, all by unanimous decision. He hasn't knocked anyone out since Caleb Plant back in 2021, but he's been consistent and dominant. But you don't want to let someone like Crawford hang around too long. Crawford's known for figuring opponents out as the fight goes on, then flipping the switch. On the flip side, Canelo has got the chin. It's iron. He's never been dropped. Ever. Even when Bivol was lighting him up, Canelo just kept walking forward, eating shots, and swinging back. If Bivol couldn't put him down with clean heavy punches, it's hard to imagine Crawford doing it. So here's our prediction. Early on, don't be surprised if Crawford comes out looking sharp. He's quick, smart, and knows how to use the ring. He could easily steal a few early rounds with his footwork, timing, and ability to stay just out of reach. But as the fight wears on, things will get dangerous. Canelo will pressure like a slow-rolling avalanche, targeting the body, cutting off the ring, and making Crawford feel every single round. The longer that goes, the more Canelo's size and power could start to break Crawford down. Crawford's best path to victory is to stick and move. Stay disciplined. Don't get drawn into a brawl. If he can keep the fight clean and technical and avoid those punishing exchanges, he has a real shot. But doing that for full rounds, against someone as experienced and relentless as Canelo, almost impossible. If he pulls it off, he instantly becomes one of the greatest fighters in history. But whether Crawford shocks the world or Canelo does what Canelo always does, one thing's for sure, we're in for something unforgettable. If you're as hyped for the showdown as we are, go ahead and hit that like button, and drop a thought below. Who do you think walks away with that win on September 13?